boys and straights, Nameless Potato here. Welcome to the second episode of an educational series here on the channel, Aequalitatem, an LGBTQ plus educational video series. This series will consist of 8 videos covering the following topics: LGBTQ plus history, sexualities, romantic identities, gender identities, queer representation, relationships, LGBTQ plus discrimination / gatekeeping, and how to be a good ally. This episode we will be talking about different sexualities, their meanings, pride flags, and why we use labels. The goal of this series is to educate people about the LGBTQ plus community to encourage acceptance and understanding of those who may be seen as different than the norm. The name of this series, Aequalitatem, means equality in Latin, and that is what we're promoting in this series. This series is written by an American and therefore will be focusing more from an American point of view. All resources used in these videos will be available down below, so I encourage you to check them all out for yourselves. I will also be doing my best to answer any questions you put in the comment section below. This entire video will include references to sexual intercourse, so if this makes you uncomfortable, do not watch this video. The term sexuality is something we hear often these days, but what does it actually mean? The word, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, means the quality or state of being sexual. In the context we are using it, it stands for the gender or genders people are sexually attracted to. Different labels are used to describe different genders of people someone is attracted to. But why does the community use these labels? Labels can help reinforce someone's sense of self and sense of belonging. A label that matches a person's identity can make them feel more confident in themselves and that they are accepted for who they are. Pride flags, which are flags with heavily symbolic colors and patterns to represent different sexualities, also help do this. Some people, however, choose to call themselves queer as to not use labels, but I will go over this more in a bit. For now, let's talk about some of the many sexualities in the LGBTQ plus community, along with their pride flag meanings and the meaning of the community flag. Please remember that this is in no way a comprehensive list of all the sexualities and that there are plenty more valid sexualities out there. The definitions of all the sexualities can also vary from person to person due to interpretation. As most of you have probably noticed, I've been using the image of this flag a lot. This is the Progress Pride flag, and it is the most inclusive LGBTQ plus community flag. The red stands for life, orange for healing, yellow for sun, green for nature, blue for peace, purple for spirit, black and brown to represent queer people of color, and blue, pink, and white to represent the transgender people within the LGBTQ plus community. Some people still prefer to use the 6-striped rainbow flag, which has the same meanings but just the colors of the rainbow. Heterosexual, also known as straight, is when someone is sexually attracted to the opposite gender. For example, a man who is only attracted to women is heterosexual. This is also a term used for women who exclusively like men. Heterosexuals are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community and do not have a pride flag, as they haven't faced the centuries of oppression and hate, as they were always considered the normal. For more information on why heterosexuals are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community, please see episode 1 of this series or click the little eye in the top right corner of the screen. Someone who is homosexual is only sexually attracted to the same gender. There are 2 sides of this coin: lesbians who only like girls and gays who only like men. Someone is lesbian when they're only sexually attracted to girls, no matter what their gender is, as long as they are not a boy. This is because boys would just be considered straight. Same is said for gays, but you cannot be gay if you are a girl. To the right of the screen is the lesbian flag, and on the left is the gay flag. The lesbian flag colors meanings are as follows: dark orange for gender nonconformity, orange for independence, light orange for community, white for unique relationships to womanhood, pink for serenity and peace, dusty pink for love and sex, and dark rose for femininity. The gay flag color meanings are as follows: first stripe for community, second stripe for healing, third stripe for joy, fourth stripe for gender nonconforming, non-binary, and trans men, fifth stripe for pure love, sixth stripe for fortitude, and seventh stripe for diversity. There are also many different versions of the gay flag. The term gay is also used as an umbrella term for the entire community in some cases, but some people still consider it offensive. Some gay people choose to also just use the normal 6-striped rainbow flag to represent themselves.
And now let's talk about me.
Wait, how did you get in here?
So being bisexual is when you're sexually attracted to 2 genders. This can be any combination of 2, but is most commonly being attracted to both girls and boys. Bisexual flag has 3 colors: pink, purple, and blue. Pink stands for attraction to the same gender, blue stands for attraction to the opposite gender, and purple stands for attraction towards non-binary or both genders.
Wow, you knew all that. I'm impressed.
You literally told me what to say.
Touche. This is the queer flag. As said earlier, this label is used as a term for those whose sexuality is complicated or don't want to label themselves using the traditional ones. This is also the sexuality I identify as. From my personal experience, labels can get confusing and to some can be troublesome. So I just use queer for simplicity's sake. The colors in the flag meanings are as follows: pink and blue for same gender attraction, orange and green for non-binary people / non-binary attraction, and black and white for people on the asexual, aromantic, and agender spectrums. The word queer is considered a reclaimed oppressive word, and some people of the LGBTQ community still consider it offensive. Homosexual is an umbrella term that is similar but not identical to queer. It describes someone who may or may not feel sexual attraction but does not wish to explore further who they feel it towards or when they feel. It can also describe someone who does not feel that any labels in the LGBTQ community accurately describe how they feel. A person who identifies as asexual, also known as ace, feels no sexual attraction at all or a very little amount. This does not necessarily mean they don't want to have sexual intercourse, but they do not feel the attraction to someone to have sex. Some asexuals may choose to have sexual intercourse with their partner for their sake or their own, while some asexuals are completely repulsed by the idea of sex. Asexuality is a spectrum. The colors on the flag are as follows: black for asexuality, gray for the area between asexuality and sexuality, white for sexuality, and purple for community. Someone who uses the label pansexual, also known as pan, is attracted to all genders, not frying pans. They are called gender blind because the gender of the person does not matter when it comes to sexual attraction. The pansexual pride flag consists of 3 stripes: one pink, one yellow, and one blue. The pink stripe stands for women, the blue one stands for men, and the yellow stripe stands for non-binary people. Omnisexuality is classified as the sexual attraction to all genders but with preferences. For example, someone could be attracted to all genders but have a preference for men. Omnisexuality is similar to pansexuality with some key differences. Omnisexuality is attraction to all genders with preferences, but pansexuality is the attraction to all genders equally and not seeing the gender of the person when it comes to attraction. The 2 pinks in the flag stand for attraction towards feminine people, the 2 blues stand for attraction towards masculine people, and the purple stripe stands for attraction to other genders or those lacking a gender. Someone may use the label polysexual when they are sexually attracted to more than 2 genders. For example, a polysexual person may be attracted to girls, boys, and gender fluid people. More information about gender identities coming in a later video. Polysexuality is different from bisexuality because it is the attraction to more than 2 genders, while bisexuality is only 2. It also is different from pansexuality, as pansexuality is the attraction to all genders without preference. Polysexuality is the attraction to some genders, not all. Polysexual flag color meanings are as follows: pink for attraction towards women, green for attraction towards non-binary / non-gender conforming people, and blue for attraction towards men. Androsexuality is the sexual attraction to people who present traits that are considered masculine. Whether the person actually identifies as a male is relevant to an androsexual. The blue on the flag represents attraction to males, the brown represents stability and support, and the purple represents attraction towards masculinity. A similar sexuality to androsexuality is gynosexuality. Gynosexuality means that someone is sexually attracted to someone who presents feminine traits, regardless if they actually identify as a female or not. A definition of the flag colors was not available after about 30 minutes of searching, so if any of you have one, please comment it down below. As I mentioned earlier, asexuality is a spectrum. The next term, demisexual, is on the asexuality spectrum. Demisexual means someone who is only sexually attracted to someone after forming a deep emotional bond with them. The gender someone is sexually attracted to doesn't matter when it comes to identifying as demisexual. So someone could be both demisexual and lesbian, for example. The 5-color meanings are as follows. Black for asexuality, purple for community, gray for the spectrum between asexuality and allosexuality, feeling sexual attraction, and white for sexuality. The final term I'll be discussing today is graysexual. Similar to demisexuality, graysexual is another term on the asexuality spectrum. It is more of an umbrella term for the asexuality spectrum. Graysexual is when someone isn't fully allosexual, but not fully asexual either. A full color meaning breakdown was not available, but it's safe to conclude the color meanings are similar to the other asexuality spectrum flags. Purple for community, gray for the asexuality spectrum, and white for sexuality. There are plenty of other sexualities that are not included in this list that are just as valid. However, there are some sexualities that are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community. These fake sexualities are typically made for one of two reasons. To mock the community, or if someone does not fully understand the point of the LGBTQ plus community. Let's take a look at some of these quote-unquote sexualities and what exactly makes them not a part of the community. MAPS, also known as minor attracted person or pedophiles, are when an adult is attracted to a child. This is not a part of the LGBTQ plus community because it is not only disgusting and harmful to the child, but is also highly illegal. LGBTQ plus community members are often offended when being told to affiliate with MAPS, and the LGBTQ plus community has made it clear that MAPS are not included in the community. Super straight is a quote-unquote sexuality that has recently appeared in the media over the past 6 months or so. Super straight is defined as being only attracted to biological women or men, not trans people. This is not a part of the LGBTQ plus community because firstly, no one who is super straight has ever faced discrimination for it. Secondly, it comes from a place of transphobic origin, wanting to exclude transgender people from the community. While it is okay to have preferences and prefer not to date a trans person, making a whole new sexuality that is highly transphobic is not okay. As stated multiple times, this is in no way a conclusive list of all sexualities in the LGBTQ plus community. This is just a list of some of them to help you better understand the common and some of the less common labels used. With that, this concludes episode 2 of Aequalitatem, an LGBTQ plus educational video series. As stated earlier, all resources used will be in the description below. Feel free to comment down below any criticisms, questions, or anything I left out. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye!